So, Tim, I want to talk about We the People Action Fund. It's a new group that you and some others have founded here. Yeah. And I love that what you say. You are the voice of the exhausted majority.
Yeah.
Boy, is that true. I feel it, too, when you go out there. They go, they're just exhausted by the last 8 years, the daily churn of politics and the rhetoric and the hate that we're seeing spewed all over the place. They almost just want politicians to get out of their lives and get out of the way. Yeah. So what's the objective here with this group?
Well, we want to be a home for the exhausted majority, and we want to try to elevate the conversation going on in the country. We're going to highlight the good stuff going on. There's so many people, ordinary people, doing extraordinary things around the country. There are innovative solutions around how we heal our vets with psilocybin, how we heal addiction with cannabinoids and cannabis, how we can actually have an energy policy in the United States that includes natural gas with renewables to displace coal. There's like real solutions out there to rebuild the middle class. It gets drowned out by the toxic conversation that we're having in the country. And so We the People Action Fund, and people can go to We the People 250.us. And basically what we're trying to do is we're going to use the 250th anniversary of the country to say we want to usher in an era of responsibility, reform, civic engagement. It's not going to be outsourced to Washington, D.C. It's going to be done by average people doing extraordinary things, working together, and getting past the toxic conversation we're having.
So, Tim, speaking to that point about average people working together for the country, last month, a section of I-95 collapsed in the middle of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And there was hysteria about how are people going to get around for the next several months. 12 days later, they had it repaired. It was a combination of another normal guy, the President of the United States, who's normal, like you, the governor of Pennsylvania.
Low bar these days.
Well, it is. The governor of Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia mayor, 12 days they repaired I-95. How do you translate normalcy, competence, effectiveness to people like in Akron and Toledo, that the job can be done, that we can still do what we used to do?
I think highlighting examples like that, I think, I mentioned the economic development happening right outside of Columbus, Ohio, auto plants, like things are happening because we took a stand. We passed the infrastructure bill. We passed the Inflation Reduction Act. We passed the CHIPS Act. Two of the three of those were bipartisan in nature. Republicans not screwing around trying to say, hey, we want to impeach the president, but saying, hey, we have to reshore chip manufacturing in the United States. It was stupid for us to let it go to Asia in the first place. Here's the policy in a bipartisan way that we can bring it back. And I think highlighting those things and campaigning on those things, because that's what the average person wants. Just go do your job. I get up every day. I go do my job. I bust my rear end and make ends meet for my family. If you're in government, go do your job too. And that's what we want to highlight with the We the People Action Fund, is to say, who's out there just slogging away, like trying to make a difference? There's a great group called MAPS. They've been doing research around healing vets for the last 25 or 30 years. They are healing vets with post-traumatic stress. They need resources. They need money. It's an innovative solution. And who's not for healing vets? Like, we know natural gas and renewables together can displace coal and significantly bend the curve on carbon in the world. Let's get this stuff done. Let's heal people. But underneath all that, there's great programs, school programs, that I've talked to Mika about. Mindfulness-based, trauma-informed care in our schools. Healing kids with trauma. It's working. And I think that's why people are so frustrated. They see that little things here or there are working in the country, but yet the toxic conversation, the impeachment, Mark Meadows, all this BS that like we hear every single day. I want people to come to We the People Action Fund and help us celebrate those people. And we're going to have compelling videos. Now, we will take on and we will be hostile to the anti-democratic forces in the country, because there is no growth, there is no innovation, there's no blossoming of these ideas if those forces are taking root. It's a virus in the country, and we can't host that virus. Viruses need a host. we can't host it. And that's what We the People Action Fund is going to do. And I think the average person in Youngstown or Akron they're going to resonate with what we're doing. We're going to celebrate this country. We're going to usher in an era of reform and responsibility, new civic engagement, and hopefully create a new politics.
It's a pretty good platform. You should run for something.
Yeah, no, thank you. Been there, done that.
Claire, I'm sure whether you're at a Cardinals game in St. Louis or down at Lake of the Ozarks, you're hearing from the exhausted majority, too.
Yeah, I think that phrase is really, talk about resonate. Exhausted majority is right. Tim, I'm curious, there are a lot of groups out there right now, and some are taking some incoming, like No Labels. And I think it has created a sense of distrust around people who could potentially donate to this effort. So can you be specific about what you're going to do with the money that you might raise in this effort that you're undertaking? I think it's important for people to get an understanding. Is this just about messaging, or are you actually going to fund political campaigns or fund some of these projects that you are lauding this morning?
Yeah, this is going to be an issue advocacy organization. So we want to advocate for some of the issues that I just mentioned. Again, we do want to take on the hostile anti-democratic forces in the country, and we will be very, very firm in our approach and how we do that. But we really want to build out, Claire, across the country, an organization. We saw, and you see this too over the years, and Jen has seen it, we spend billions and billions of dollars on political campaigns. Volunteers, digital, all of that stuff. And then when the campaign's over, everything washes away like a sandcastle on the beach that gets hit by a wave. We want a sustainable organization. We want a We the People representative in all 3,142 counties in the United States. We want to begin to stitch together in local communities with volunteerism and getting people engaged with what's going on in different communities across the country. So it's going to be an organization that both through compelling content, compelling videos, advocating for these ordinary people doing extraordinary things, these ideas that are out there that aren't getting any oxygen, we're going to give it oxygen, and then we're going to advocate for how we pass, support, and fund those kind of things. We've already been in contact with a lot of artists and performers and musicians and bands. We're going to do concerts across the country over the coming years. We really want this to be a big celebration. Like, this country is going to be 250 years old. I mean, it's a minor miracle that we've made it this far, and we want to say, okay, we want to do another 250 years. We better get our act together, and that's going to mean an era of responsibility, increased civic engagement. So at all corners, We the People is going to be pushing towards those efforts. We're not going to be a political party. We're going to be an advocacy group.
So you're happy coaching flag football? No chance you get back into politics?
Yeah, no time soon. I'm enjoying. It's nice. Like, I get to hang out with my family. I get to hang out with my kid. I'm like taking him to basketball camp. Like, I took him to a Mark Price basketball camp like 2 weeks ago.
Great Mark Price.
Mark Price is the best, right? And I'm sitting there with Mark Price, who's now 60 years old. I'm now 50 years old, and he's like coaching my kid. I'm like, it's not better than that. So I'm enjoying it, but I want to stay engaged. I mean, I spent my whole adult life serving through Congress, and now I'm a private citizen. I want to, continue that service.
Still doing your part. The new political action committee is called We the People. If you want to get involved, the website is wethepeople250.us, looking ahead to the 250th anniversary of the country. Congressman Tim Ryan of Ohio.
Great to be with you guys again.
So great to see you. Come back soon.
Thank you. I'll wear a tie next time, I promise.
No, you're always good here. Still